Okay. Why is having sex on the first date so taboo?
It's not. This is a new day and age. You know, for a long period of time, women have went through a lot of levels to where people judge them based upon what their decisions are. And what's sad, what is extremely sad about that is that women want what we want. The same thing, how we want to have fun, so do they. But it's sad that a woman can have as much fun as she want to have fun, but then people are looking at her differently in the sense of saying, well, she's a hoe or she's a whore. We already know, shout out to the hoes and whores. Those are two different
Yeah.
things. And if I have to explain it to you, then maybe you just don't understand how the world works. But there's, I just think that I don't believe that a woman should be judged based upon what she want to do or the decisions that she make, just as a man. However, um, we already know if I piss outside, I'm just looked at as a person that's draining his lizard. If a woman piss outside, then
You're
people,
dirty. You don't clean your coochie.
yeah, like
What?
I just feel that this is a different day and time and age to the point where women shouldn't have to go through pure hell for being who they want to be or sleeping with who they chose to sleep with. You know? Now, maybe in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, if that's what it was, that's what it was. But now we're like in a whole new millennium where women is not only comfortable with themselves, but they're also comfortable with their decisions as well. So I don't think that we should bash women on the fact of what they chose to do with their body or their time, because we're in a different time frame. So no, I don't believe having sex on the first date is taboo, especially if you already established a connection with somebody where you and that person understand that that's what it is or that's what y'all doing or whatever the case may be. I just think that that whole first date having sex shit is really overrated, and I think a lot of women would have sex on first dates, but this old fashioned storm that still sits over these women to make them feel like, well, I can't just give him that like that. Well, if you wanted to enjoy yourself anyway and you didn't expect much, or maybe that time presented itself where you was like, fuck him, you know, I don't feel there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're aware that,
That's what you're doing.
no, that's what you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't see a problem with it. And shout out to all the chicks who get bashed for things that really you shouldn't get bashed for. You know what I'm saying? Especially now in this day and time. So I disagree. I totally disagree that having sex on the first date is taboo. I don't feel, if you're dealing with a guy that you're unsure of or whatever the case may be, but
Then
you,
don't fuck them.
yeah, then don't smash him. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
for the most part, I don't think that women should be judged based upon what they do or decisions that they make with their body and who it's with, and then be punished for whatever they wanted to do. Maybe that chick just wanted to have fun like you did. You know, maybe she didn't expect no relationship or nothing. Maybe it was just a weekend. You know, she met you, you was cool, met you through a friend, or whatever the case may be, and she made that decision on doing that. But it wasn't done because she's a whore. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, women don't sleep with everybody. Let's keep that one thou wow. Shout out to all the chicks who do sleep with anybody, but every woman don't sleep with everybody. So I don't believe that. I don't believe that first date sex is taboo. I don't believe that. Why do you?
I think it depends.
On.
The vibe and the individual and what you doing there. Is this really a date that you really wanted to be on? Or is this your next sugar daddy? You know what I'm saying? What
Break that down a little bit, because you got a lot of losers and a lot of people who they're just so disconnected to the fact of And I'm saying this to you this way. I know you're a real woman and you're not afraid to be who you are, which makes me ask this question in depth.
Come on.
You know what I mean? So, what do
Yeah.
you mean? Explain yourself when you say that.
I'll just say a person who has financial freedom and isn't interested in you by any means necessary, whether it's emotional, spiritual, whatever the fuck, and they know that what you want is financial gains. Period. Sometimes sexual, sometimes it's not. Either way it goes, a lot of the times you usually don't have sex with them on the first date, and that usually takes away the opportunity that they would give to you, because then that means that they feel like if you're gonna do this to me, you're gonna do this to my homeboy. You're gonna do this to anybody. I'm not gonna
But that's
invest
not
into you.
That's not necessarily true.
Okay.
But go ahead.
So based off of my experience, like, no, this is exclusive kitty. Like,
Hold up, I want to get this. Shout out to the chicks with exclusive kitty.
This is a exclusive kitty, like VIP wristband, double security door, Volt box, all that. You know what I'm saying?
Shit,
like,
okay.
It takes a lot, but there's sometimes I want to have fun. I'm finna do a one night stand, and that's my mind frame. I'm finna go in,
Right.
you finna pay for everything. I'm finna get drunk as fuck,
Right.
and I'm finna have fun at the end of the night. And I probably might not text you tomorrow.
Right, because you knew what it was when you
Because
walked
I knew
into
what
it.
it was when I walked
Right,
into it.
so you didn't
know
expect
what I'm
a whole
saying?
lot from that.
And because the sort of the woman I am, I be catching motherfuckers off guard. They be like, "Oh yeah, I really like you," and I'll be like, "You're not going to last." You know what I mean?
Shout out to the chicks who move like she move. Real talk.
So, like, you know, we can have fun, you know, temporarily, but I have to get back to my bag tomorrow.
Right.
So, you know, and, you know, this is cool, but I know what you have doesn't match what I'm doing.
Or where I'm going.
Or where I'm going.
And I think a lot of women get caught up in that, in the mix of
And
that.
they try to teach and learn and mold, and I love you, so I want to mold you. When you have this potential, I see it in you, and now you're stuck in a stagnant place, confused. I have a friend right now who's still with her one night stand 3 years ago.
And what's wrong with that? If that's what she chose.
Toxic. She hates this motherfucker, but she can't let this motherfucker go.
I don't believe that.
She hates this motherfucker.
No, I'm not saying that she don't hate him.
Oh.
I don't believe that she can't let him go.
Oh.
No, because sometimes people can come to you, right?
Oh,
No, listen to how I'm about to word this, and then maybe
no.
you might understand what I'm saying.
Oh.
Sometimes people pull you in, right? And they put you in this maze. And sometimes you can't find your way out.
She got her ass out. She
I don't
want to
think
be
so.
in there. She wants
I
to
don't
be
think she
in there.
found her way out.
I think so. But that's the thing. That's neither here or there, or here and there, because either way it goes, there's women who do both things.
Right.
There's women who put themselves there, and there's women who really do get lost in the mix.
Right.
Because what are those 5 points? They have to align themselves.
Right.
You can't go into a one night stand unaligned.
True.
You can't be like, I'm gonna fuck this nigga and I don't love myself.
I don't think women stop to think that. I think it's more like a woman walking into it and saying, "This is for me."
This is for me.
But he think it's for.
But he
him.
no, you
Yeah.
have to go in. I look myself in the mirror. I'm like, I love myself.
Right.
The fuck, and anybody around me is going to love me.
Right.
Period.
Which is positive as hell.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the sort of energy you have to allude into yourself when you're going to those situations, because people forget at the end of the day your body is a temple.
True.
And your temple passes energy.
Right.
So if you're fucking somebody one night, you don't know anything about this man or what he's involved in or the experiences he's been through,
Right.
he could be a goddamn energy demon. You just let this nigga suck on your shit.
And that's true. There's a lot of people out here that are energy demons, and you don't even realize it. You just know you feel real exhausted
And
when
they're
you get away from them.
beautiful. They are gorgeous. They got money. They whatever. But they're not there for themselves.
Right. Right.
So there's no way they could be there for you.
That's
But
real.
they fucking on you though. Cause misery loves company.
Shout out to the people who love misery. Because you definitely ain't getting my company.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why it for me, I understand your perspective on the one night stand, but that's why the one night stands, you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Not on the aspect of anything you're talking about, on a deeper level of my mental capacity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Man, I know girls, they be wildin'. And that's all they know is wild though.
So what's wrong with that?
Sometimes you have to be able to be stable within yourself in order to be wild. A wild horse still stands still.
But go ahead, I'm listening.
You know, so
Right.
there's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? There's girls who's wild because that's all they know and there's nothing else to them.
Right.
That's scary.
Right. Right. So you're running around wild as hell, but you're not aware
You're
of.
not aware, you're not aligned, you don't love yourself. So
Right.
now you're having all these one night stands, and you're like, and nobody respects me, and
Right.
but
So you think that a lot of these women are not just so much damage from the past,
I
but
say 50-50. 50-50.
so you don't disagree with one night stands for the first date. You don't disagree with that.
50-50. 50-50.
But you're saying that man has to show you something to actually pull you into that direction to want to be comfortable with something like that in yourself.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. But as men, we don't give a shit.
I don't give a flying fuck
No,
about
we
that
really,
shit.
no, we really don't. I'm being honest. We
I
really
know.
don't. And
I know.
it makes me feel some type of way.
But you guys really should, because you guys are the most affected. Because like you said, you guys are most emotional right now.
I'm not.
Well, not you.
I can accept the fact that coochie was given and the time frame of when it was given, that there will no be tomorrow. I understand that.
Right.
I understand that
Right.
because of the conditions of what it is.
Mhm.
So you also have to like I said earlier, you also have to let a woman lead the way of what it is. So if she wants to still kick it with you, it doesn't have to do with sex or whatever. That could have just been a night she wanted to kick it and chill with you that way.
That's it.
So that don't mean she really want to fuck with
on
you. Doesn't mean that.
She can have guy friends.
several.
Right.
Doesn't mean she's smashing all of them.
Right.
It just means
She's
that you.
only smashing her best friend.
Well, I have done it.
Right?
I have done it.
Right. Okay.
You make me feel.
Are you in your feelings?
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Okay.
in my feelings.